Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I want to share your mouthful. I want to do all the things your lungs do so well. I wanna bend into you like a cat bends into a beanbag. Turn you inside out, lick you like a greased racket. You're the first and last of your kind. Out of me, every lever you pull, and all showers that shower you. Yes, I'm gonna roll around you like a cat paws and my welcome moment. Be on me and pen and borrow a ransom trivia. Sing. I'll hang class, you will class.
Let me be the wallpaper that papers up your room.
I wanna be every button you press, and all the clouds that surround you. Yes, I'm gonna roll around you like a cat rolls around so does it patios. I'm gonna kiss you like the sun rounds you. Something me. I want every other freckle. 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 Every other freckle. I want every other freckle. I want every other freckle. Every other freckle.
All J live on KEXP, a song from the new album, This Is All Yours. A fantastic record.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks a lot. And we're very proud of it as well, so thanks.
It's been an incredible few years for the band, and perhaps maybe even a little bit surreal for you.
Yeah, I think traveling around, this much has been amazing, but yeah, definitely surreal, yeah.
After so much time out on the road, I know you did so much touring on an awesome wave. Were you eager to get back into the studio? Is that something that you did right away?
Pretty much, yeah. We went home, sort of finished in December, went home for sort of holidays, and right after New Year came back and got back in the studio, really. Being on the road for that long, not having proper time and space to work on new songs was frustrating, I guess. It was exciting to be doing all the touring, but we really wanted to. Our first love is being in the studio and writing and recording material, so we were very excited to get back and do that really quickly. We didn't have any sort of real time off or anything.
You say that your first love is being in the studio writing and recording, and I know that you wrote An Awesome Wave when you were at university, and I think that you wrote it living in student lodging.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Just having fun, not really even knowing who would hear the record. I'm guessing that when you started to make this new record, the situation was a little bit different. You had some resources at your disposal. How did you even decide to approach this new record?
I think we took the approach of trying to sort of recreate the environment of the first album's writing. So we found a cool space in London, sort of not like a big expensive place, like kind of a cheap sort of photography studio / apartment really, and just rented it out and hung out there every day, and pretty much like the first time, just enjoyed each other's company, and the music was the result of that kind of process of just hanging out together and enjoying being a band and being friends and it being one big thing really.
You really did start out as friends, and I know that one of your bandmates and dear friends decided to step away from the band. I feel a very brave and mature decision if he wasn't enjoying life on the road. I mean, life is short, but it must have been a little heartbreaking.
It was tough, yeah. I mean, I think we saw it coming, probably, we knew he wasn't that happy, but it was still a shock to us when it came, and it was sad, but I think, we knew we'd still be friends with him, and we knew it was best for him to do that. He clearly wasn't happy, and it was just driving him mad, I think, the lifestyle of travelling all the time and stuff.
Well, it is a grueling lifestyle, and as I said, must have been a very difficult decision.
Yeah.
But did it bring you all closer together?
I think it did. I think the fact that the three of us decided to stay in the band meant that we sort of reaffirmed our sort of commitment to each other and to the band and stuff. And so I think we also realised how precious our relationships are as a group, and that we can't let sort of cracks appear if we want to stay strong and stay together. So yeah, we made probably a sort of unspoken conscious effort to really pull together and come closer together after he left. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about the record, but can you play another song first?
Sorry, absolutely. I have songs of water. Absolutely, we'll play another song from the new record. I'm going to play you one called Left Hand Free. Here we go.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm a light of a radical sun. Make a little meeny, miny, moe, and flower, you're the chosen one. Well, my left hand's free, and my right seeing grip. About another left hand, watch his right hand slip towards his mouth. As I went on my days we rolled. My right hand's ripped on this gold single action on the well, my left hand's free and my right seeing grip. Well, another left hand watches right and sniff towards his gun. N-E-O-N-T-G-V's girl, you're the one for me. My head dance bigger than your man on my days, he disagree. Oh, sweet easy. Free. Well, my left hand's free. Well, my left hand's free. Ain't she the baby? I'm a. That's good. Make a little meeny, miny, moe, and flower. You're the chosen one. Well, my left hand's free. 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 Oh.
Alt J live here in the KEXP studios. This Is All Yours is their new album. And you've said the process of creating records is something you enjoy. It seems like it's fun for you. But I know that you take it very seriously and you work very hard. Was it overwhelming in any way to know this time around there would be a pretty big audience waiting for the record?
In a sense, I think there probably was, yeah. But I think equally, we felt with our first album that we'd been quite experimental, messed around quite a lot, not stuck to one genre particularly, and I think people liked that. So in a way, I think we thought, well, okay, we could probably get away with it even more this time around. You know, with that, we felt like we probably had the right now to be the band we really wanted to be based on the reception the first album got. So it was quite liberating too, I think, knowing that we had an audience there who were actually receptive to our sort of weirdness.
There are so many layers to your music. I feel like there's a surprise around every corner. And I'm just wondering, do you have to keep yourself from continuing to add more and more layers to it? Is there some sort of a stop process?
It can be difficult, yeah. You know, I think we never let ourselves be limited by what we can do live. We never sort of say, let's stop adding to this track, otherwise we won't be able to play it live. We always think, let's worry about that later. But I think generally we know when a track is done when it's completely fascinating to us, I suppose. When we listen to it through and go, okay, every bit of that sounds interesting now, and then nothing more needs to be added. That might be one way of looking at it, I suppose.
Is it difficult to then, when you do decide to go live and the rehearsals, to figure it out, or is that just another kind of fun piece of it?
That's not nearly as much fun. It's quite difficult. You know, we had the whole of August this month getting to know these new songs and figuring out how to play them live, and it was difficult. And that was much more like hard work than making the album, you know, really. But we got there, and we had some really good help from, you know, our sort of technicians and stuff who were great. So, yeah, it was really, really good. Yeah.
You do cover a wide range of sounds from song to song, which I find very interesting. And I still recognize it as an alt-J song, maybe in much part to Joe's voice. It's the common thread that goes through there. But I think the music has touchstones from the last album. But it sounds like you were exploring new things this time around. Yeah,
I think we wanted to try some new things. But I think you know, there are recognisable alt-J sort of tropes that go into a lot of the different songs. It's hard to say exactly what they are. But yeah, you know, we wanted to try more interesting vocal stuff, bring in more electronic stuff from Tom's end in terms of him not just being a drummer. So yeah, we pushed things a bit more this time.
Well, speaking of Tom, so much has been said about the Miley Cyrus sample, which I absolutely love in Hunger the Pine. And Tom, I know that you struck up a friendship with Miley and of sorts. Maybe you can tell us how that came to be.
Yeah. Well, I was.
Let's give Tom some vocals there, or Mike.
Yeah, that'd be great. I was doing a remix for her, and I was messing around with the remix in the studio, messing around with the vocals, that kind of thing. And we ended up writing "Hunger of the Pine" around that time, and yeah, I sampled Miley in that track, and she's a huge alt-J fan. She loves the band, and I've been, you know, text each other now and again, and it's great. She's a very nice, honest person. She's very, very creative, and we have a lot in common. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we never actually get to hang out because, you know, we're both so busy. But hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to, you know, maybe do some more stuff together. Who knows?
We have such a great ear because the original song is so different, but that sample fits in that song so perfectly. I have to admit, I didn't actually know that Miley had a sample in the song or on the record, and I listened to it so many times before I started reading about it, and I'm like, well, what song is that? I mean, it just fits so perfectly. I thought maybe Joe was making different voices or someone else in the band was singing backing vocals there. So nicely done. It really, really fits lovely.
Well, that's the main thing. It works, and it's not so much about it being Miley Cyrus. It could be anybody. You know, that was the main thing. Is it worked within the track, and that's why we decided to leave it in there in the end.
Well, I'd love to hear another song if you're up for it. We've got alt-J live here in the KEXP studios, and you can watch this streaming live at kexp.org.
This is Bloodflood Part 2.
Heat shimmer, hairs quiver. Open swollen, live louder. Oh, dead in the middle of the steel double ammo, and you didn't know then that the men of leaves on a muddy toothbrush. Flash under the police.
So awesome. It's Alt J live here in the KEXP studios. Joe, can we talk about your lyrics for a bit? I understand you mostly write the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's the titles alone are very tantalizing, and then when you try to dive into the lyrics, because it's so fun to try to sing along anyway, it seems like you're getting inspiration from all sorts of things. You're not just singing "Ooh baby, baby," which would sound lovely in your voice, even that. But I read some interviews where it even says you find inspiration from a grisly scene from the movie Alien.
Yeah.
And then you've got the 3 songs about the Japanese city.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how things pop up, ideas for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're on record as saying quite regularly that you write about what moves you most, and you should write about what excites you. And that's exactly really what I do. I know what excites me enough, so I write it down and I keep it in a journal, and I leave it I approach it at a later date, and I will sort of find things that are relevant to kind of the theme that I'm trying to work on at the moment at that time.
It seems like, it sounds like from discussions that the making of the song sounds like a process where you're all together, but I imagine the writing of the lyrics is maybe a solitary piece of it?
Yeah. Normally, I mean, traditionally with the sort of the songs that have sort of to date, they kind of start with me in a room on my own with the guitar, and I sort of figure out the lyrics as I figure out the melody, as I figure out the sort of notation guitar stuff, and then I approach the group, and we go from there.
I'm curious to know how the Nara songs turned into a trilogy. Is that a place that you actually went or just read about, or?
Yeah, no, we actually haven't been there. I read about it on Reddit, and it was just a nice idea. It was kind of it's the deer in Nara are regarded as sacred animals, and they're left alone to run around and be free. And I thought it was kind of it suited as a nice analogy for equal rights across the board, I think, just to let people do what they want to do.
And was it an idea that was so big it didn't fit in one song, or did you want to thread it through the album?
Well, we had so many ideas for Nara. It all stems from like a chord progression or one chord progression, and it was kind of, the ideas weren't never ending, but they were certainly close to being, so we just kind of sort of we had
lots of ideas for the song, and they kind of were spilling over, and it was turning into a very, very long song indeed. So we sort of thought, well, maybe seeing as we could divide it up into 3 songs, and then seeing as Nara is a place, we could sort of call it Arrival in Nara and Leaving Nara, rather than just sort of Intro to Nara or Nara Reprisal or something. Yeah.
Well, you're going to play one of those songs next.
We're going to play Nara, the main event, the main course, which is going to involve a quick guitar change for Joe. So I'm just going to fill some time while he does that.
I know that you work with the same producer that you worked with on the first album. When do you know that it's time to bring someone in?
A new person, you mean? Or or a producer at all? Or
just the producer that you've chosen.
Yeah.
You work together, and then at some point you decide we'll bring in an outside person.
Yeah, I suppose we started working with our producer really, really early on, because it was more that we wanted a studio to try and make some demos in, and we went down to a friend of a friend. Well, a friend of ours introduced us to Charlie, who was a friend of his, and said, my mate's got a studio, you can go down there and record some demos, record a demo for a few days for no money. And we were like, that's cool. So we went down and did a record in Matilda, and Charlie took on a kind of more of a producer role rather than just engineering it. He had some great ideas for the track, for the production of the track. And so that was in 2009, or maybe even 2008, actually, 2008, I think. And we took it from there, really. And, we always went back to work with him because he was so good and had such a good ear for our kind of sound. So there's always been Charlie's influence in the band slightly, I think. He flavours it a little bit.
Well, that was a lucky meeting with him.
Very lucky indeed, yeah, absolutely.
Alt J are playing the Orpheum Theatre in Vancouver tomorrow night, and then they'll be back in Seattle on the 15th. Oh, is that tonight?
Vancouver's tomorrow.
Wednesday, I think.
Seattle's Wednesday.
Seattle's Wednesday.
And it's Monday today.
You're just kicking things off, right?
Yeah.
Here in the U.S.?
Yeah,
right.
We've had a weekend here, though, which is nice, in Seattle, which was really cool.
Oh, good. I'm happy to hear that.
Good.
We'll get those dates straight and get those out to you on the playlist at KEXP.org, but I do know they'll be here in Seattle on Wednesday at the Paramount Theatre.
This is Nara.
Marry a man like no other. Light the fuse. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
tide wash up my breast. You follow, let him go, let him leave me. Love is a pharaoh and it wanted me. I'm all letting me where it wanted me. Love is a pharaoh and it wanted me. I've discovered a man like no other man. I discovered a man like no other man. I discovered a man like no other man. I found a love to love like no other can. He's found me, my Aslan. Hallelujah, pure Alabama. Hallelujah, pure Alabama.
Beautiful. It's Alt J live here in the KEXP studios. This is All Yours, the brand new album, playing at the Paramount here in Seattle on Wednesday night and embarking on quite a tour. You're going to be on the road for a while?
Yeah, 6 weeks in North America and then back home for a week and then back. So yeah, lots of time here.
Oh, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you again so much for coming in.
Thank you.
You've got to tune to KEXP Seattle. Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?